More on our top story. The Trump administration officially just making a move to push Congress to fast-track a vote on the U.S., Canada, Mexico trade deal. Vice President Pence saying he has been speaking with Speaker Nancy Pelosi on this, as well as the U.S. Trade Rep, Bob Lighthizer. Pelosi saying this is not a positive step. Joining us now, Fox News senior Capitol Hill producer Chad Pergram. But, Chad, the fact is that Nancy Pelosi was in favor of fast-tracking in 2015 when President Obama worked out the TPP deal.
Isn't it interesting how the roles are reversed here? But that said, I could flip that on the other side and say, why, are the Republicans in Congress, who want to move the USMCA fast, but they didn't want to move TPP a couple of years ago, the Trans-Pacific Partnership. So there's all sorts of, depending on what shoe the foot is on. Here's the problem right now for the administration, though. They don't have the support they need yet on Capitol Hill. As I always say, it's about the math, it's about the math, it's about the math. And if they don't have the votes, they can't move it. I've talked to a number of Democrats who I don't think they can ever get the assurances that they need from Mexico to vote for this. That means they're probably going to have to pass this, if it ever comes to the floor, with a coalition of lots of Republicans and just a few Democrats. But they don't have the math right yet, and that's why opening up this window to try to move this expeditiously is a problem, because it hinders them. They might not have that window, might not have this all worked out within that window of time, David.
And impeachment, Chad, of course, is still out there. It's being debated very hotly among many Democrats, angry that Nancy Pelosi isn't pursuing it more actively. Where does that stand? Is this a winning issue that Democrats can get behind? We know where the president stands on it.
Well, it's probably not a winning issue, and that's something the Democrats in the House are very mindful of, because they're concerned about going too far down that road. Now, I just talked to Jamie Raskin, a Democrat from Maryland. He is a member of the Judiciary Committee, and I asked him sort of that same question about the risk politically for Democrats. And he said, well, just because we open an impeachment inquiry does not mean that it ends in impeachment. His argument is that most, impeachment inquiries have not resulted, not culminated in that. But I tell you, that is really, something hard to parse. When every day you're talking about it on Capitol Hill and you're trying to address other issues and at least pivot the conversation to something else, that's a problem for Democrats. And how they kind of split the atom is a problem. I also asked Jamie Raskin just a few minutes ago if he thought that Robert Mueller would in fact be subpoenaed, or would he return to Capitol Hill and testify in some form, and he thought that he in fact would.
Chad, hi, Liz Peek. Question for you. You talked about the math. What exactly is the math right now on the impeachment process? I mean, it looks like a lot of people think that the Democrats could actually lose their majority if they go down this road. Is it more likely or more favorable to them just to have endless investigations, endless potentially embarrassing revelations about the president? Doesn't that sort of satisfy or scratch the itch that these guys appear to have?
Well, the math does not work for them in the polling. They would rather talk about health care and other economic issues. Here's the one thing that when you hear all of this attention focused on impeachment, I want to give you some raw figures here right now. There are currently 432 members of the House. 235 are Democrats. And by our count, 44 total members of the House, one Republican, Justin Amash of Michigan, the rest are Democrats, are for impeachment. That works out to 9.8%. So for everybody to say you have all of these Democrats for impeachment, they are a far cry from that when you have such a minority, even of the House Democratic caucus.
Yeah, and Chad, don't you need 2/3 of the majority? So that would be, what, 47 Democrats?
No, not to go to impeachment. The simple majority.
Okay, so
in the Senate, though, you need 2/3.
Okay, so in the Senate.
Yes.
But actually, to your point, if we're going to look at the flip side, so they're going to say, oh, there's no infrastructure bill, there's no wall funding, there's no Middle East or Iran deal. So if you lead to impeachment, and maybe the president, and this is, you could get subjective with this, the president may want this because he knows he can win, and there would be no impeachment. It could be something to divert the attention away from some of these, check boxes that have not been checked yet.
Well, this is why Nancy Pelosi has to finesse this. She has the support of her caucus to pursue this kind of the way she's pursuing it, saying everything is in the open right now. Nothing is off the table. We're open to anything at this stage, but not really quite going down that road. But Nancy Pelosi did say something significant yesterday, and it addresses the point we raised a moment ago. She said that if we do go there, it has to be ironclad and has to resonate in the United States Senate. What that means is 67 votes for a conviction. Keep in mind that there have only been 16 impeachment trials in the history of the Republic, and only 8 times has it resulted in conviction. We had one with a federal judge just in 2010 where they removed Thomas Porteous from the bench, but it's rare. And so Nancy Pelosi is saying, we're not there yet, and she's kind of winking and nodding, saying it's doubtful we can get there, therefore, no impeachment.
Hey, Chad, Gary Kaltbaum, the Harvard-Harris poll is at 65% right now for no impeachment.
Right.
Do you think the needle would be moved, let's just say if it was 65% for impeachment and all of a sudden a bunch of Democrats start joining the other 44? Do you think that's what would happen?
Possibly, because, again, keep in mind, look at the model from 1973 and 1974 with Richard Nixon. There was a point where the Watergate Committee and the Senate had met, and most people thought that they weren't going to pursue this in the House of Representatives. Then the Saturday Night Massacre happened in late 1973, and that's when the House Judiciary Committee started its probe. And then you had a vote, and this is where I say the math is always paramount. Would you believe that the vote in the House of Representatives to authorize the House Judiciary Committee to start its impeachment inquiry in early 1974 was 410 to 4. 410 to 4.
It was pretty clear what they wanted.
That reflected where people were.
Well, that's why Nixon resigned. I got to ask you quickly, Chad, the point that has to be reckoned with by Nancy Pelosi, it might be a minority that's for impeachment, but it's an important minority, and they're already ticked off that the same thing that happened to Bernie in 2016 might be happening again when he's facing off with Biden. Can they afford to allow that minority, that strong minority, to leave the party before the election?
Well, that's always the problem that they've had, and this is the issue that they've had with this freshman class. Some of the most vocal members, they have to throw them some
They're
bone.
important.
They absolutely are, and they're certainly the most vocal and obvious. This is where they always talk about some of the issues that have sidetracked the Democrats when it comes to Rashida Tlaib and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Ilhan Omar. People in the Democratic Party are very sensitive to which direction is it going, and is it a minority or a certain constituency in the party which is, driving the train? And is that where the rest of the party really is? That's a problem for them.
Chad Pergram, great to see you, Chad. Thank you very much. I know you're having fun down there.